from another country, you bring her back, please understand that her vendetta is to have a better life for herself. She's going to stay with you a couple of years, but please understand she probably got a man in that other country.
All right, guys, so today we're going to talk about people hating on passport bros. And of course, one of the things that I've kind of noticed is that guys think that these women are undesirable, meaning that, you know, the ones that have the most to say about passport bros are not even that attractive at all. And I even have one case of a brother, obviously, hating on passport bros. But let's check it out. Let's see if it's true.
I have been in the wormhole, y'all. Of the men who said they're going out of the country to find a wife. Number one, they act like we care. Number two, it shows that how they are mentally. They're no different than people who see black people as just being criminals or whatever, because most of the time that's what the media is showing you. So in there,
let me kind of deal with this. And I think I've reacted to this like before, not on camera. She said, you act like we care. I mean, I'm trying to keep this clean, right? From what I'm seeing on the video, she could be somebody that guys are looking to try to talk to. But I think like when guys are saying like, I'm trying to go away from the United States to, you know, they're probably not trying to deal with this young lady right here. Based, I think, on her attitude, you know what I mean? Because she light-skinned, whatever, but that's number one. Number two, she's saying that the guys are stereotyping black women like white folks stereotype black people with criminality. Now, that's BS. Brothers who have an issue with black women have that because of personal experience. Now, I'm not saying all that personal experience is negative, but they come to that solution not because of what they've seen on TV, because of what they've been through. Well, let's go.
So in their eyes, women don't want good men. We want, you know, Pookie and Day. We want to be a baby mama. We're just having babies, you know, by criminals or whatever, because that's what the media is showing them.
That's not what the media is showing. It's what the statistics are showing. Now, whether you're having babies by Pookies and Ray Rays, we can't determine that. But do you want any baby mamas? I mean, we could just look at the statistics. Let's leave my personal opinions about the Pookies and Ray Rays out of it. Deal with the numbers. Are most black women having children out of wedlock? The answer is a resounding yes. Almost 81% now of unwed births of black children are coming from single parent homes. All right? That's not, if black women desire that or not, I don't know, but that certainly is a number. So we can only deal with what the number is.
That the most of the men who are in that movement, they're not the desired type from women. Now, there's some women who would find them attractive physically. However, how they are mentally is the thing that is turning a lot of women off.
Let's deal with that. So they're not the desired type. Okay, let me deal with that. I'm going to deal with that. If they're not the desired type, the ones that are going away, because y'all don't want them, what about the ones that are your desired type? How is that working out for you? Bingo. It's been terrible. For the men that you say are your desired type, what has the outcome been in Black America the last 45 years? Because the ones that ain't your type, they went on somewhere else, right? White women, Asian women, whatever else. So you like you said, you didn't want them. What about the ones that are your type? still been chaos for the ones that you're type, right? I mean, according to the marriages, and it's been unsuccessful. So that's why you got to know what you're talking about. For the ones that you want to deal with, how has it turned out? And then what do they get if they get with you? What is the outcome? It has to be positive results. So if these guys were what you wanted, what would the outcome be? Probably very similar to what we see right now for the guys that you want and you have kids with.
Everybody has their type. I have my type. Those men have their type. I think the problem is that they're mad that nobody is choosing them. We're not choosing them. We're going after what and who we want, and they don't like that.
What and who you want? I think this is like what you don't understand. The guys who are doing the Passport Bros movement are actually trying to get away from the black community. They don't care. Now, they may be talking shit on their way out the door, but they don't really care about who you're choosing or whatever, because the reality is if a guy can sustain himself overseas, he has many better options than what he's dealing with in America on average. The average guy who you said that nobody wants. Like, let that guy be in Ghana, or let that guy be in the DR or Colombia. Problems are going to be there wherever you go. But on average, that guy has a lot more opportunity as far as beauty, as far as price, as far as everything else. So it's not even the case. The guy's living a better life if he can afford to sustain himself there. And what you're doing in America, I can promise you, he doesn't care.
I feel like, especially when you get to a certain age, especially like my age, I'm 40, I don't have kids. So automatically people would think that something's wrong with me. And especially if you are in your late 30s, 40s, with kids, they just tell you, just get what you can get. And because we're not choosing them, it makes them feel some type of way. And the thing about it with women, if you go and get you a wife from another country, you bring her back, please understand.
Before I deal with that, let me go back and deal with that. She says she's 40, no kids. There are women that are 30 and 40s with kids. And Passport Bros are mad that you're not choosing them. You need to be serious in life. Get your life together. That's not the case. Because you're 40 and you don't have kids. I'm upset that you don't want to be with me. Says what person? Like, just we gotta be like, make it make sense. The guys who are leaving America are not worried about women 30, 40, 20 with kids or whatever. It's not even the case. They're not even dealing with that. They've already accepted that a long time ago, that it's a lost cause. Dating in America is a lost cause. So if you're 40 and you don't choose me, nobody is gonna worry about that. Guys are looking at the next time they can go to Colombia, the next time they can go to Brazil. Whether or not I agree with it or whatever, or you agree with it, it's not the case. The last thing a guy is not thinking about is somebody 40 or somebody 30 with kids not choosing them. That's the excuse you give yourself. But that certainly is not true.
That her vendetta is to have a better life for herself. Mm-hmm. She's going to stay with you a couple of years. Mm-hmm. But please understand, she probably got a man in that other country, and it's understood. Go to America, stay with this man as much as you can, divorce him, take him for all he has, and she'll go back to her country, and she'll go back to the man who she really wants. Don't
scare tactics.
Don't fall.
So let's do with the scare tactics. So you don't want the guy in the first place. Mrs. 40, you don't have kids. You're mad that you're not choosing that guy. Want to know what I would say? Like, if I didn't want a woman and she went and did something else, I would not make a video about it. Would not make me mad. But what it seems like is for the guys you don't want, please believe that the woman that you're going to go find overseas is going to get married to you and come back and steal all of your money. And please believe you're going to be broke. You can do the same thing in America, actually. It's happening all the time. you can be in America and take all this money. So again, for somebody you don't want, you seem to have a really great interest in this particular video in trying to warn somebody when you don't want them. Or could that be that those guys don't want you and you feel some kind of way, which is the reason why you made the video? But anyways, let's go on to the next person. All right, so this guy is Ultimate Black Man Radio. I know the brother. Shout out to him. I've done a show with him before. Seems like he doesn't like the Passport Bros either. Let's see what he has to say.
We outside today. As you can see, it's raining. I got water all on my glasses, but the sun got your boy's skin looking kind of good. Ladies, can we talk about the Passport Bros today? When you see dudes saying they got their passport and they about to go overseas to find their wife, and you see they have the initials SYSBM in their bio, which is short for Save Yourself Black Man, those dudes are tricks. These dudes have a firm understanding that they're so socially awkward and so socially inept that they need to pay to have access to coochie. Thing is, they're so broke that they can't afford the cost of women, sex workers here in the United States. So these dudes with warehouse jobs, these are the type of Negroes that work on the line up there in Detroit in the car plants. They take their little 35, 40K overseas because it stretches longer.
Did you hear that? Look, me and my video guy, man, we're here laughing because it was funny. Like, I said the warehouse Negroes, because they can't afford sex work. Gay, bro. The propaganda is hilarious, but I'm gonna have to push back on some of this stuff, brother, respectfully. I like Gabe. You know, he's a funny guy, as you can see, right? Now, can some guys be awkward? Absolutely. I mean, no doubt about it. But are guys working warehouse jobs to save up money to go overseas and just engage in sex? Because think about what an overseas ticket costs, especially right now with what fuel prices as it is, to go economy to certain places. Like, I remember I flew economy about like in July to Entebbe Airport. It was $3,000 on Qatar Airways. It was a last minute ticket, but that was economy. All right, so it was very expensive. So and that was, from Africa to Europe. So imagine you coming from the United States and you're going to someplace. It might be a little cheaper, but it costs a lot of money. So it doesn't make sense that this is a warehouse Negro who's, trying to save up the money to go, because he can't afford sex workers in the States. Obviously, he could do that. But now I think that what this is relegating every guy to the fact that if he wants to do the passport thing, that he's socially awkward. As if dealing with women in America is like the easiest thing to do for a lot of guys. And dealing with women is not, an easy task for most guys. It's easier for some, but harder for some, right? So I think that when we relegate these guys to, it's socially awkward, they're all like that, I think that it's a shaming tactic in a way, and it kind of defeats whatever argument these guys have as to why they're wanting to do something different. They must have an issue in America somehow in the dating market. I mean, if you look at Tinder, a lot of guys are not even getting a fair shot in the dating market. Doesn't necessarily make them socially awkward. We know all the time women make the wrong choices in men. We see it in the black community. Does it make the men in the community that are good standing and go to someplace else socially awkward because women made some wrong decisions? I don't think so. I mean, it's a pretty funny video, but let's get into the next one. This one comes from the Thoughts of a Black Woman TikTok channel. Let's go.
Passport Bros Exposed, Part 2. Now, before I begin, let me hit y'all with a quick little disclaimer. No, I'm not mad that certain men have decided to go out of the country looking for their next victim. I'm completely okay with that. No one's trying to keep you or hold you hostage. Go where you are celebrated, brother. The only issue I have with it is that with every large movement that certain types of black men create, like Save Yourself Black Man, the Kevin Samuelites, and even the passport bros, is centered around the dislike or disdain for black women. Somehow it becomes our fault, and it's because we are inadequate in some way that these men want to distance themselves. And that is simply not the truth. I'm going to show y'all some clips, and then I'll come back with my commentary.
Brothers, I'm not happy what I'm seeing in Latin America, because when it starts in one place, it will spread to other places around the world. Women there are just so chill, so feminine, and so beautiful for brothers to go out there and get. Foreign women are our last bastion of decent women. If they become ruined, it's over for dating for us in general. Now, I will admit, DR is probably done for. The problem with tricking is women will start to expect that. Just like in the West, where women expect you to pay for everything, women expect you to be simping, women expect you to do this, do that, because they're so used to the simp culture in the West. If that starts happening abroad, if Japanese women, if Costa Rican women, if all these type of different women that are originally feminine and for us, if they start expecting us to start doing things for them, brother, it's over.
We get a passport, we go to another country, and we get a goddamn sister from another country that doesn't act like you, that doesn't think like you, and it's not as hateful as you are.
Now, I'm telling you guys, when I heard that nonsense, I was absolutely floored. Because what it told me is that a certain demographic of the black men in our community have serious issues. They preach that women, more specifically black women, don't want to see their faults. But what I see from this is that they clearly don't see theirs either. So you mean to tell me that you don't want the women in your own community and country to require anything from you? So in order to avoid that, you want to go to another country and get quote-unquote feminine and submissive women, but that's really code for women that you think you don't have to do anything for, and women that you think won't require much of you. Then, as you can see from the comments above, there are men that are frequent travelers abroad saying that the influx of black men visiting are ruining the women in those countries. They aren't being as feminine, sweet, or submissive, and they're being more guarded with black men. That's quite odd to me, because aren't those the problems that you say American black women have? Food for thought. Maybe it's the behavior of black men here that are causing the attitude that you say that you're getting from black women, especially if it's happening in cultures that you aren't even around 24/7. Well, I have more to say, but I don't want the video to be too long. So let me know if you want a part 3, and tell me your thoughts down below.
So the sister does make some pretty strong points that, and again, we do know the passport Pookie brothers are there, especially in the Latin American countries. And the thing is that whenever we see black women go out there and deal with Brad and then they have an issue, what's the first thing that we say? See, this is an issue that black men had nothing to do with. And if you see black men having problems overseas, which you do, and black women are not there, we got to be objective and say, hey, yeah, because I've heard about black men in the DR, black men in Colombia, and the brothers out there, you know what I'm saying, throwing money everywhere, and then that's why some of the women are acting like they're acting in the DR and Colombia. And before brothers got there, it wasn't that. So, and then throwing money at women like they're strippers and stuff like that, and, sex objects and things like that's what I think you have some aspect of brothers who wanted to treat black women like that in America, and then they couldn't do it. I'm not saying all the passport guys, right? But then obviously some of that passport pookieism gets overseas, and then now they have the ability to do that, and then they're still not marrying or dealing with those women long term either. And that element is there in any community, especially in the passport bro community. So she makes some strong points. If you're having problems without black women being there, then it's a black man problem. And then obviously, thinking that, those women, we got to stop tricking and simping because they're going to expect something from us. Well, all women are going to expect something from you, especially if you're American. That's another thing, too. A lot of brothers don't look at that. When you're a black man or any foreigner going to any parts of the world, obviously, one of the things in general, they're going to expect you to do more. Americans, you coming into the community in Africa, in Colombia, whatever, they're expected that you're going to do more. Period. That you're going to get more money. You're rich. So she makes some strong points. I'm going to be real. She did, guys. But what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson. Back at it again. We out.